Hello, and welcome. I am Web Weaver, and I'm so glad that you have found my channel here today. This is where I do a one-card tarot reading just to give us some guidance for our day ahead. As always, these readings are for entertainment purposes only, and I am using the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck, which is different than traditional tarot, so I do have notes here that I pull from just to help guide my readings. All right, so I had hoped to get on earlier tonight, but you sometimes just have to go with the flow, right? And tonight we decided we needed to take library books back. The kids wanted to go to the library, so we went to the library. And it ended up that they have I didn't know this, but they have a program where kids can volunteer to read to therapy dogs that come in. And while we were there, the librarian came into the children's area and announced that the person who had signed up to read that 15-minute span didn't show. So they had an opening if anybody wanted to volunteer to read. And my oldest was the only one there who was old enough to read. Um, so he volunteered, and it turned out that the dog he was reading to was a husky, which is his absolute favorite dog in the world. So he got to read the first chapter of Dog Man to a husky tonight, and he has signed up for the rest of the year to read to that dog. So um, we got home a little later than we anticipated. So I did not get on, but it was for good reason. So this reading will be for Wednesday, October 1st. And it looks like the government, in the hands of current administration, is going to shut down tonight. I have not seen any breaking news updates about a deal being reached, considering that most of the day one of the parties of the two were not even in their offices. So I don't know that that's going to happen. And boy, oh boy, was that one heck of a circus show at Quantico. So I've had a hard time focusing today because of those things going on and being absolutely disgusted and mortified and angry. So, all right, we are going to do this reading here for October 1st. What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? All right, I am going to split the deck. I do not read reversals. And we have the Hero, card number 12 in the fire suit. I find this interesting, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But let me bring you down and I'll go over this with you. All right. So the Hero represents someone we all admire for their noble qualities, their courage, and willingness to champion and rescue the weak and vulnerable. There is a seemingly unspoken code that modern-day heroes live by. They are honest, loyal, courteous, respectful, just, men who honor and respect women, and women who honor and respect men. They do not delight in the pain and suffering of others. They believe in love, commitment, honor, justice, integrity, forgiveness, honesty, respect, and service. They recognize that no one is perfect. This card is asking you to embrace the code and to act selflessly for the greater good. So that seems very straightforward, right? Live by the code of the modern day hero, but that is not an easy thing to do. I think we all struggle with parts of it in some way or another. Love, commitment, honor, justice, integrity, forgiveness, honesty, respect, and service. Remembering that no one is perfect. Not delighting in the pain and suffering of others. I feel like there's a lot of people in our society today that take great pleasure in the pain and suffering of others. A lot of times we have this mentality of, well, it didn't bother me, right? So it must be okay. But I'm reading that book, The Fourth Turning, that was recommended by Libby over at Meister Tarot. Um, I'm only on chapter 3. I'm working my way through it. Um, and one of the 4 categories of people, depending on when you were born, whether it was during the awakening or the crisis or the interperiods, there are 4 categories of people. And the ones that are dealing with the crisis is the heroes. And we currently find ourselves in the crisis period, and it is titled by them the Millennial Crisis because it came about starting when the economy, the Great Recession, the economy crashed, what have you, and has continued on since then. And should peak around 2030, they're estimating, but it's based on human activity, so it's hard to give an exact date. But the generation that deals with that is the hero generation. So that is where the millennials find themselves. And I am technically lumped in with the millennial. I am an elder millennial. I kind of prefer the subcategory of exennial between Generation X and millennial because I really don't fit with a lot of the millennial stereotypes, but that's for another day. But this generation is the hero generation. And a lot of the people of this generation are embracing that hero code. We want to see a country where everyone can survive and thrive. We don't see these social safety nets as being a bad thing, right? We don't want 20 million or more people to lose their health care so that the rich get these tax cuts. We don't want to see people struggle, right? So that's what struck me with this is that we are in that crisis period where the hero generation is trying to bring us through it. Love, commitment, honor, justice, integrity, forgiveness, honesty, respect, and service. We are being asked to embrace those things in our daily life in whatever way you need to and act selflessly for the greater good. And this message is the same both individually, in your own family unit, or maybe your work culture, or your friend group, or whatever it is, wherever you find yourself. Embrace this code, honor it, but also do so in the bigger picture. Cast your vote with this code in mind. Contact your representatives with this code in mind. Attend protests and rallies with this code in mind. We are the hero generation, trying to bring us through a crisis. And the only way out is through. All right. So if you would like to meditate on the imagery of this card, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow, hopefully earlier, with our next reading. I don't think I have any impromptu library trips that could cut into things, so hopefully it will be earlier in the afternoon. I hope you all have a restful evening and that Wednesday is gentle. Blessed be.